Dividing by two-digit numbers, problem solving. I will be showing in the next video how books are put together using signatures. After seeing the video, we will do this problem. If a book has 128 pages, and this book has 128 pages, how many 16-page signatures does it have? I'd like to point out an important principle in making books, and that is a signature. You don't just print 23 or 27 or 28 pages. You think of a signature. Now this is a 16-page signature, and 8 pages on one side and 8 on the other. And this is 8.5 by 11, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now the same principle applies for a book in a signature, that you take these 8 pages on one side, and then it's the same thing on the other side. And then this gets folded as a signature. As you can see, it gets folded, and now this is 16 pages in this signature. And then the printing company will staple it or sew the binding together, and then it goes and cuts the pages. Of course, this is done very precisely with the machines that they have. And so you'll have a book. In other words, this is 16 pages. If you put 2 of them together, you have 32. If you put 3 of them together, then you have 48 pages. This book has 128 pages and 16-page signatures. So 128 divided by 16. That goes 8 times. 16 times 8 equals 48. 8 times 1 plus 4 is 12. So it goes 8 times. In other words, the signatures in this book, and if you look over here, I'll pull this book apart so you can see it. This book has 8 signatures, and each signature has 16 pages. Now, don't make the mistake of looking at the back of the book and say, hey, this book only has 120 pages, and that's what this book has. But in front of it are 8 other pages that were not counted. So it has 128 pages. This is a 16-page signature, and there's pictures on both sides of the signature. And that's for one of my children's books, and this is a 48-page children's book. And so divide 16 into 48, and you'll have 3 signatures. I've also written 32-page children's books, and 16 into 32 is 2. This is a book I've written, Schools in Crisis, Training for Success or Failure. I was a high school teacher in New York City, and this book now is out of print. It's free on our website at advancedpublishing.com, and you can read the whole book. And this particular book has 335 pages, 14 Roman numeral pages, and 3 blank pages. So you have to add them up together, and if you divide that by 32, you find how many signatures there are in this book. And I wrote this book. I wrote about the crisis and the solutions for it, and now I'm becoming part of that solution. That's why I've written this Number Success math program, and I also have 2 literacy programs, one for children and one for adults. I've also written this book, Non-Traditional Machining Handbook. It covers all the non-traditional machining processes that are out there. And I was concerned when I wrote this book about signatures. And this particular book has 432 pages and has 48-page signatures. And so in designing this book as a publisher, I always was careful that I have the right number of pages. And today with computers, it's very easy to have proper signatures. So as a publisher and sending my books out to printers, it's important to know division. And you'll find it's important to know division for many, many, many other occupations. And so learn division facts. You'll never regret it. Problem solving, thinking math. And I want to stress this word, thinking. You just don't see numbers and, oh, well, let's just do the math right away. You got to think. Now, these problems are relatively simple, but when you get out in the real world of where math is really important, and if you make a mistake, it costs maybe thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars, you got to think. And let's just look at this. This is from your workbook, problem number 1. If a loan was $13,860, how much would the monthly payments be if the loan was for 3 years? And so if you look at this, you say, well, we'll just divide 3 into $13,860. But is that what the question is asking? You see, it says if the loan was, that's a total amount, $13,860, it's for 3 years, but the question is, what is the monthly payments? So the question is, how many months are there in a year? So there's, how many, you know, there's 12. So there's 12 months in the year, so that has to go into the equation. So if the loan is for 3 years, we want to see how much is it for 1 year. So the first thing we're going to do is divide 13,860 by 3, because it costs us for 3 years. So now we're going to get it to 1 year. So 3 goes into 13 4 times, and 1 left over. 3 goes into 18 6 times. 3 goes into 6 2 times, and 0 0. So 1 year, the loan would cost $4,620. So a lot of people, oh, well, that's the answer. No, it's not the answer. It's the wrong answer. The monthly payments is not $4,620. That's what the question is. That's why it's called thinking math. You have to think. You just don't see numbers and write them down and do some kind of a math. You might get the math right, but the answer is wrong. So now we have to divide with this 12 over here, the 4,620. 12 goes into 46. That's 3 times. 12 times 3 is 36. So 6 from 6 is 0. 3 from 4 is 1. You have to bring down to 2. And this will, 12 goes into 102. It's got to be under 102, so that would be 8 times. 8 times 12 is 96. We can't take 6 from 2, so you have to borrow from the 10, make this a 9. This becomes a 12. So that would be 6. 9 from 9 equals 0. Bring down the 0. 12 goes into 60. 5 times, so the monthly payments for that loan would be $385 every month for 3 years.
Please pause the video now and complete the problems in your workbook. When finished, press play, and we'll continue with the next lesson.